Hi there everybody, and welcome to this final part in the Hound Dog sequencing tutorial series. In this episode I'm going to show you how to add in the drum part. So the resources that you're going to need for this are your saved Hound Dog project file. You can see this is where I was at the end of episode 3. And you're also going to need this page of the printed resources, which is the one marked drums. Okay, now we've never done any kind of drum work at all in lessons, so I'm going to explain a few symbols and that kind of thing as I go through. But this is not actually as difficult as it looks. Okay, it's quite straightforward to get this drum part played in. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to need is another track on your project. So I'm going to click on Add Track. Again, I'm going to go Virtual Instrument. Crucially, even though we're adding drums, I'm not clicking in Drum Machine. That's if you want to add sort of auto drums into your project, and we're doing ours manually. So there we go. Oh, nice blue colour. That'll do. Now, the first thing you're going to need to do on this one is change the instrument, because by default, again, it's come on as a piano track. So what we're going to do is click on where it says Grand Piano, and we're going to Drum Kits. And one of the first ones there is a blues kit. Now, because we're discussing blues, rock and roll, a bit of a crossover, that is absolutely perfect for our purposes. So when you've done that, you can see you've now got a drum kit down here. And importantly, your MIDI keyboard, which I'm going to put on the screen now, will now do different parts of the drum kit. Okay, so if I press this bottom C on my drum kit, I get the kick drum, which actually is what we're going to need. And if I press the D next to it, I get a snare drum. Okay, now they're the only two drums that we're going to need. Now, you might need to move around on your keyboard to find where those are. They're normally near the bottom, but they won't necessarily be right at the very bottom. But there should be a C and a D. So remember that C is to the left of the two black keys. Find a C and press it until you hear something that sounds nice and thumpy, like a bass / kick drum. And then the note next to that should be a snare drum. Now, you can do this on your normal keyboard as well, I believe. Yeah, if you press S on your typing keyboard, you will see that the kick drum is coming out there. And if you press G, I think it is. Oh no, sorry, that's the rim. If you press F, you get this bit flashing here. So you can use S and F, or you can use C and D in your keyboard. I'm going to use the keyboard just because it's already on my piano, and you can see what you're doing, but it's exactly the same thing, transferable across. Okay, so I'm going to put the ruler at the start of bar 2, and all we need to do for the first section is keep time. Right? What I mean by that is we need to play a steady drum beat, and the pattern that we're going to do, if you look on the resources, we have a note low down, which represents the kick. Which represents the kick, and we have a note slightly further up the stave, which represents the snare. And you can see all it's doing is going kick, snare, 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 kick. Now there's an extra bit here. Don't worry about that bit yet. Okay, we're going to do 4 bars. In fact, we could do 8 bars. We can do all of this in one go. We're going to do 8 bars, where we just go kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, and so on. So the kick will be on every 1 and every 3, and the snare will be on every 2 and every 4. And all you've got to do is keep time as best you can. Okay, it doesn't start until bar 2, because remember we had that little bit of extra melody at the start, which the proper name for is an anacrusis. We sometimes call it an upbeat or even an intro. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure I'm in bar 2. I'm going to hit record, and here we go. Okay, so I went up to the end of bar 9. I did 8 bars worth. Double click in the region. Okay, and I'm going to select all of those notes I've just recorded. There we go. And I'm going to set the quantize to 1/4, because we're playing quarter notes. We're playing crotchets, and then click on quantize. And now everything should have gone into exactly the right place. Let's check it. There we go. Okay, now, I'm going to be a little bit crafty with how we add in the extra bits, okay? That's what we need every now and again. Okay, so at the end of every fourth bar, it goes, there's a little cha-cha-cha that we're going to add in. And I could add it on the same track, but for clarity, I'm going to add it on a fifth track. Okay, so I'm going to go click here. That's interesting. Why has that changed? Hang on a second. Add track. Oh, I've lost my logos for some reason, my colours. So I've got instrument 5. I'm going to do exactly what I did before, in that I'm going to change the instrument to a... That's weird. Sometimes BandLab does stuff I'm just not expecting or it hasn't done before. So it's exactly what I did before, but for some reason everything was laid out very slightly differently that time, just to annoy. Okay, so remember, we want it at the end of bar 4, which means that in our project we need it at the end of bar 5, because there's this extra bar of intro at the start where the melody plays on its own. And all we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3... Now, there was a bit of lag there on my computer. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's all we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, cha-cha-cha. That's what we want. And that's all we're going to play. On the snare drum, so I'm on D, or what did we say, G, if you're using your regular keyboard. And I'm just going to add it in. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's our cha-cha-cha. Click into the region. Okay, now I'm going to quantize these to their nearest 16th. And that should have them in the right place. Perfect. And actually, because there's now 2 snare drums on the final beat of the bar, it's just giving it a little push. There's a little accent now on that last one. I really quite like that. We're going to need that again at the end of bar 9. Okay, so as I did with the did this with bits of the piano track, I'm going to right-click, click copy, put the ruler in bar 9, and paste, and that should work. There we go. Now all I need to do is carry on for 2 more bars of our 1, 2, 3, 4 with our bass and snare. Okay, I could have done 10 bars in the whole lot actually. I could have done, but I didn't. So there we go. Let's put them in now. So I'm going to go back into my first track. Click on record. Again, it's giving me 2 bars of intro. Okay, there we go. So there's another section recorded. I'm going to find those notes. Of course, I'm going to quantize them. I'm going to go back onto 1/4 for that. I'm going to click on quantize. There we go. Just check they're all right. Okay, now there's a little drum solo at the end that goes dagga 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 boom, right? And it does it on the snare drum. Okay, and it does it like this. Right? It's quite fast. This is probably the only time I will tell you to ever use 2 different fingers from 2 hands on a piano keyboard. There are 16 of them, and we've got to fit them in. Now, if you can't fit them in like that fast, and we need a kick drum at the end as well, if you can't fit them in that fast, all you have to do is turn your tempo down. So let's set it to 80, and then suddenly... it becomes a lot easier to do. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it at 100. Because I've kind of got the hang of that bit now. Okay, so all I'm going to do is hit record. I'm in my 4th track, my blue track. Okay, so I did 16, is that right? Yeah, I did 16 16th notes, and then I played a kick on the end. And if I click into that region, you can see all of those. Now, when I quantize, I'm going to go nearest 16th note and pray that they all go into the right place. Oh, you can see that they haven't. Some of them have gone to the wrong line, and we've got a couple missing. So I'm going to undo that. And I'm actually going to drag the first one back onto that first line. Oh, see, this is the thing I hate about GarageBand. Sorry, the thing I hate about BandLab is it's just not precise enough. One of those is later than it needs to be, and if I quantize it, it's going to snap into the wrong place and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to have to re-record that. I'm going to have to pray that I get it even closer this time. Let's try that again. Let's try that again this time, see if that's worked out any better. Oh, I'm not so sure, you know. Quantize to the nearest 6 now, it's all gone the wrong direction. It's all gone the wrong direction. How do I get 16ths on the grid? Not done that before. Can I do 16ths on the grid? Nope, doesn't look like it. Not found a way of doing this. MIDI mappings, that might help me actually. No, hang on, ignore me. I just want to be able to have a 16th note grid, and it doesn't look like I can do it, and that's causing us a problem here. So I'm going to see if I can cheat. I'm going to go on to 8th note. No, I'm just going to have to record it again. How annoying. Not helped by the fact that I've got this this bit of latency on my computer, so it's causing me a few problems. Bar 12, let's try again. Now to me that sounded great. That's probably the best one I've done. Everything's come out slightly behind the beat though. I'm going to try it manually and then click on 16th and hope for the best. Yes! Okay, that worked. Hopefully you won't have that problem because you won't have the latency if you screen recording on at the same time. That actually worked out really nicely. Okay, a little bit of cheating going on there. So what I did was, everything was in the right place, but very slightly behind because of the screen recording I was doing. So I selected all of them, I dragged them back onto, oh, hello. I selected all of them, dragged them back onto the first line, and then I quantized it to 1/16th. So yeah, a little bit of trial and error there needed. There's one more thing that we need to add, which is the little pickup into the next cycle of the 12-bar blues, which is this one here. It's just 2 snare drums at the end, okay, and it's on its own. Now this will be the only thing that happens in bar 13. I'm going to do it on my instrument 5 track, my 5th drum track, okay, and all we're going to do is we're going to hit record. It will give us the 4 ticks in, at least I hope it will give us 4 ticks in. Sometimes it gives us 8 ticks in. Then we wait for 3 beats, and then we play 2 snare drums at the end. Okay, and that means that if we loop this section that we've just had, then we'd end up with the going back in the right place. So let's see how many bars of intro it gives me. It's giving me 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay, really simple at the end. And for this one, these last 2 notes, where are they? Here they are. I'm going to quantize them to nearest 8th note, because that's what they are. They are 8th notes. There we go. And that is, oh, hello. Sorry, my Mac's doing funny things now. That is the end of our project. I'm going to turn off the metronome, and I'm going to give you a blast of Hound Dog. Okay, finished. That is what I'm after. For our first sequencing project using BandLab, I am really happy with how that's turned out. There's a lot of really interesting things in there that's taught you how to do different things in different ways. We've got some clicking in, we've got some playing in, we've got copy and pasting, we've got editing, we've got quantizing, all sorts of different techniques. Do not forget to save your project. Okay, do not forget to save your project. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what you come up with. And I shall see you for whatever the next project is after this one. See you later, everybody.